Hello, today we have here Flora and Ronja, who's going to introduce how to go to abroad to be a volunteer. And Flora is a volunteer in Tahewa Youth Center, and Ronja is volunteer in Tõlliste Youth Center. So Ronja wanted to start.
Okay, so I will tell you now a bit of the European Solidarity Corps, and in short version, it's called ESC. So it's a possibility for young people between 18 and 30 years to make a voluntary service abroad, like in European countries. And so it's, for me personally, it was the best choice after school because I had no idea what to do after school. So I went abroad and did this voluntary service. And also one very cool thing about this ESC is that you have a lot of trainings during your service time. So for instance, an on-arrival training or also midterm training. And also in my case, I'm not sure if it's also in other cases, like the thing like this, that I also had like a pre-departure training. So before I went to Estonia, I was also prepared like how to survive abroad or something. And also like the on-arrival and midterm trainings are the best to meet other volunteers and to get to know the culture of the country you are in and to get general information about the money and your rights or yeah. So another fact of this European Solidarity Corps is that you can do this project from 2 to 12 months and only once in your life. So except if you do like less than 2 months, then you can do it twice. And also your projects can be in many different fields. Like for me, it was a youth center and also for Flora, but it can also be in kindergarten, at school, in environmental organizations, like in many different kind of fields you can support and help people or volunteer. And also one big thing or important thing of this program is that it's covered mostly from the EU. So you basically have not a lot of costs because you get monthly pocket money. And this money depends on the country where you volunteer. So for instance, if you volunteer in the north, like, I don't know, Scandinavia or something, your pocket money will be probably higher than in the south because the living costs are different. What else? One big important thing is that during this voluntary service, you get to meet many different people, different cultures. So it's a good way to find new friends from Europe. And also sometimes from outside of Europe. And also, yeah, you will definitely find a lot of new people and meet a lot of new people. And also one big thing in this service is that you have the possibility to learn the language in the country you will be in. So either you have the chance to participate in a language course, or if this doesn't work, you also maybe get the language book, or you will have the language resources that you need to learn the language. And also, moreover, one big thing for me, why this, or one expectation maybe for the ESC service is, first of all, you have to be between 18 and 30 years. And second of all, you have to have the willing to help or to support others. And also for me, it was to be more, or to be open-minded, because you will be in a field which you don't know. So, or also, that is important to mention, if you want to improve to be, or if you want to develop a more open-minded personality, this is the best way you can do. And also, if you want to grow as a person or get a lot of, or want to, I don't know, get a lot of experiences abroad, this European voluntary service is the best or one of the best decisions, I would say. And if you now think that this sounds good for you, or you consider to do this, the first step you can do is to register on this ESC portal. The page, I can write it or I can say it, it's called europa.eu /youth/solidary _en. I can write it later in the chat, maybe. Yeah. And then you can like start with filling in the applications and finding your sending organization, like for you, sending organization in Estonia. And this organization will help you to find like the supporting and coordinating organization in the country you will volunteer. Yeah, I think, Flora, what do you say? Is this?
Yeah, I think that's basically it. For the next part, some maybe more personal parts, because we are doing the ESC right now. So maybe it's also nice to hear like from our experience a little bit. So first of all, Madly already said that we are volunteering in the youth centers. And basically I did it for 11 months and only for 9. And now the question, why did we decide to do this voluntary service? So for me it was, I finished high school and I didn't want to immediately go to university and study, but I wanted to see a different country while also doing something that is like helping other people and not just like traveling for fun. So this was like the best choice.
Yeah, for me it was also similar, and I also wanted to collect like the abroad experience and to also have this big adventure abroad. And another important fact is that I wanted to learn a new or get to know a new culture, and especially lots of new people. Yeah.
And then the next question we ask ourselves is like, what is something really good that happened because we made this decision? And for me, it's basically, I learned so much about myself as a person, how I can deal with problems or how I also enjoy things. And I met very many cool people. Those were like other volunteers who were like from all over Europe, but also cool Estonians. And that's very nice, always to find new friends.
Yeah, again, very similar to me. I also think I developed as a person and also get to know lots of inspiring people, which gave me motivation, new inspiration, new inspiration. And also one best thing that happened for me is that I found inspiring people and friends for my lifetime. Yeah. And Flora, what about the accommodation?
So I lived by myself in a flat in Halga, and that was really nice because it was like just finished the renovation, so it was quite modern and colorful walls and everything. It was quite cool.
Yeah, I lived in Valga before coronavirus started, and the first 4 months with another volunteer from the Ukraine, and then the last months until middle of March on my own.
And the last part, what is something that we learned? For me, it's especially like that I really now appreciate going out of my comfort zone and trying new things because I can learn from them. And before I was always a little bit too scared to really put myself out there and try things.
For me, it was to enjoy like the moment, because in the European like in the voluntary service, you will have a lot of negative but also positive sides and emotions, so you really have to enjoy every emotion or feeling. And also for me personally, it was to see more the positive things and sides of situations. To see like to be more positive and also self-confident.
We also have one video. I'm going to try to share the screen now. I'm hoping it will work. Can you also hear the sound?
No.
There's also the subtitles, I think.
It's good.
Flora, you can turn on your microphone.
Yeah, exactly. This video like also showed some of the different fields that you can work in, like even working with like refugees or in environmental projects.
Maybe you can describe step by step how is the process. First, you have to find the place where you want to be volunteer. What's coming next?
So I think the first thing is that you have to register on this platform or ESC portal, and then you can, like, you don't have to say I want to go to this and that country. You can be open-minded for whole Europe, and then you can find a field where you would like to work in, or also be there open for anything. And the next step is to Flora, maybe you want to continue.
Basically, you have to find one sending organization that is in your own country, and they will support you like from your own country if there's any problems. And yeah, and then you have to find one organization in the country where you choose to go, or like one project where you want to go. So this was for us, like the project going to the youth center and working there. And basically then you just apply to there and hope that you get accepted to there. And if that all works out, then you can basically start your service and then you go abroad.
And also the projects you sometimes, or most of the times, I think you get from your sending organization, like in my case. So you get a lot of offers or projects, and then you can decide which project fits best for you.
Yeah, I think that depends. So for example, my sending organization didn't give me any projects, but I just found it online. I searched like through Facebook. There's some groups where the organizations will post like we're searching for a volunteer. So it all depends on the situation.
So, and also on the ESC portal, you can find organizations and projects. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and the good thing with the ESC portal is also the projects can like contact you. So sometimes people write to you like, we would like you as a volunteer.
What do you think? Is it necessary to have some skills or experiences or knowledges before you're going to volunteer somewhere? Or you can be just like empty white page and you're going somewhere and you're going to learn everything there?
I think as long as you are open-minded, that's the most important thing. And then you will learn the skills, because as a volunteer you are not supposed to be like a worker, and so the organization will probably not expect from you to be like the perfect person, and so you don't have to have many skills. But it is of course good, for example, if you like want to work in a youth center, maybe that you have worked with kids, but it is not necessary.
Yeah, and you will develop your skills during the service, but yeah, you are just a supporter or helper.
What do you think? Is it okay to go to abroad and be a volunteer if you don't speak very good English or another language? Is it okay, or you definitely need good English or some another language?
No, it's totally okay if you just have the basics of English, because you will improve your English during the time and it will get better. Of course, in the beginning, it's completely different to your life before this service, but you can come without any English or with less English skills, I guess.
Yeah, I think a bit of common language needs to be there, because otherwise how will like the people tell you how to work? Yeah. But as long as there's a little bit, I think it will be okay. And yeah, it will be more of a challenge if you don't know very good English, but it will still be good, and it's always good. That's like a really good way to improve your English or another language as well.
I have a question that what was most challenging thing for you if you came to Estonia and started to volunteer?
It's a hard question.
I think overall for me the most challenging thing was just like, I mean not always, but sometimes just like being away from home and being on my own. But it also has good parts. So now I'm like more independent. I can also like spend more time on my own.
Yeah. For me, it was because it was the first time to live completely on my own without somebody. And so it was, challenging to organize my life or to have this experience like the first time on your own, and then also abroad in another country with another culture, with another language and all those things.
Have you heard about some more like opportunities to go to abroad if it's not like volunteering like in the ESC version? Like, is there some more opportunities?
There are quite a lot, and I can tell a little bit more about one of them. Those are like Erasmus Plus youth exchanges, and they are for younger people as well, so they're from 13 to 30. And they are not so long, they're like up to 3 weeks. And this is like really more about the intercultural communication. So it has to be from at least 2 countries, like groups of young people, and they can meet in one of the countries or in one other country. And also one of the main things is everybody should have some responsibility in organizing this youth exchange. So everybody gets some tasks, and also the group has to think of one topic that they want to discuss during their youth exchange. But I think this is like a really good way to start doing this intercultural stuff. If you're interested in it, but don't like feel like, okay, I will go abroad for 12 months now. And in the beginning, it's good to, there's like existing youth exchanges and you can just become a part of them. And in Estonia, some organizations do this. It's like, for example, SDS. But I can also send a link later where you can find out more about this.
Yeah, besides ESC, there's also like, if you're more interested in children and in children care, it's like au pair. I think it's also in English au pair. So you you help parents to care about their kids, basically. I don't know exactly if there are a lot of programs in Europe, but I think there should be programs in Europe as well. You can find it in the internet.
Yeah, maybe we can also try to find a link and send it later.
Yeah.
One more thing that is also part of Erasmus Plus is called NOKO, but this is only in Estonia, so it's not going abroad. But this is still an intercultural experience because it's supposed to be for people from Estonia in Estonia, like people that live in Estonia, but it should be like between different cultural backgrounds. So for example, the most popular thing is like one group of Estonian speaking youngsters and one group of Russian speaking youngsters. But it can also be like with refugees, as long as it has some groups with different cultural backgrounds, it's a good choice. And there's from 11 years already and only until 19 years old. And this is like only up to 1 week. And they can choose any sort of topic and then just have some discussion around it and like workshops around it. And this is supposed to promote openness and acceptance and show like everybody is basically the same. It doesn't really matter if they speak Russian or Estonian or anything. And the full name is Nootekotumised, and I can also send a link to this later. And this is quite easy to organize, so you can even do it yourself.
For which kind of person you suggest to go to abroad to volunteer?
I would say for people who are open and open for new adventures and new challenges, and also for people who maybe are not sure what they want to do right now in their lives. Like for me, after school or after university, it's the best choice to do something cool and interesting in your life.
And for me, it's also like if you really want to travel, but you don't have like the money to go on a trip around the world, this is like a really good way to see like one country more close. And for me, it's more interesting.
Okay, lots of questions and lots of answers. Do you have something more to say or add something?
I think that's basically everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and if somebody wants to contact you with you, then maybe you can, I don't know, give your email address, and then they can ask questions about going to abroad and being volunteer. And we can maybe share it also in the chat.
Yeah, I can should I just write to the chat?
I think we can share it in the end also. So thank you very much, Flora and Ronja. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.